Part 2 was ended short because we got a bulletin about police looking for a white Hyundai Elantra. They are very specific to the make and model, although online many questions have come up between a Hyundai Sonata and other makes and models that are similar. The best information I can find is nothing has been publicized that they are looking for something similar, but specifically this vehicle. Because of that, a lot of rumors got sparked online that the vehicle description came from a body cam video. That is not the case. This statement was put out by Moscow police, and they said that it is not related to the white car that is shown in the background of that body cam video. We'll get into that as well. What was happening at this time in this room? Could the girls have been going to bed? Or was the flickering someone walking in the room? We don't know. In part 2, we talked about Jack Showalter, who got a lot of hate in this investigation from social media and the public. But he has been ruled out at this time as a suspect.
Top criminal profilers, Dr. Casey Jordan, is weighing in.
You could have somebody who is a potential serial killer who has been thinking about doing something like this for a very long time. If the fantasy was fulfilled, then the fantasy will bloom even larger. And very often you're going to find a perpetrator who feels compelled to do it again.
But Dr. Jordan says another, perhaps stronger possibility, they were acquaintances. Could this have been a fellow student?
Statistically, it's most likely to be someone from that community. Most likely to be a fellow student, somebody who may have been in the house before or invited into the house even in those early morning hours, perhaps by one of the victims. We can't rule that out.
The use of a large knife, possibly a Rambo-style combat knife like this, is also telling.
We can't rule out the fact that there is a sexual nature to it. In criminology, we often talk about piquerism, the use of an assailant who is stabbing with a knife, if you will, as a substitute for sexual activity, sometimes because of their lack of ability to perform.
Wow. And what about the two roommates who survived? Jordan finds it completely plausible that they didn't hear anything.
We know the Moscow murders occurred on the early morning hours of November the 13th. But what's going on with the 13th of the month in the Pacific Northwest corridor of the United States? This is Sandra Ladd. She was killed on June 13th, 2020. Someone snuck in her home and stabbed her multiple times while she was in her bed. This crime has never been solved. This is Travis Jutin. He was killed on August 13th, 2021. He and his wife were sleeping when an intruder came in and stabbed them both. His wife did survive, but unfortunately he didn't make it. This crime has also never been solved.
Experienced crime experts in the USA, Professor Casey Jordan, Professor Lawrence Kobylinski, retired NYPD homicide detective Alfred Titus, and retired FBI Special Agent Maureen O'Connell. And what they're saying about the slayings of 4 college kids is eye-opening.
People don't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to get a knife and go kill 4 people just to see what it feels like.
No leads, no suspect, no person of interest yet. Are we dealing with a serial killer?
I'm hoping that what is happening here is that the police do have information that they just cannot give out because it's still part of the investigation, and that it's not some madman out there looking to kill college students.
The order of the killing is very important. Oftentimes, when it's a multiple homicide, you're looking at who was killed first.
The number of wounds is also potentially significant.
Let's say one person is stabbed 20 times more than the other. We could assume at that point, but it would obviously have to be supported by investigation, that that person was likely the intended target.
Dr. Jordan suggests the killer has been gradually building up to committing this monstrous deed.
When you see a massacre of this caliber, the stabbing deaths of 4 people in one location, it's relatively rare that this is the first go-to crime for that particular offender. Very often things happen in stages and the person gains confidence over time.
Kobylinski and Titus, both professors at John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York, believe it's likely the killer knew his victims. Is it possible this is just somebody passing through town who seized on an opportunity?
It's doubtful. It's doubtful that this is somebody that just randomly chose this house to go to. There is a possibility that this is a revenge type of killing, perhaps a grudge of some sort.
But Dr. Jordan and Agent O'Connell say they don't discount it's a serial killer.
There is no way that a person, for the very first time they're committing a crime, murders 4 people. That did not happen.
This person, most likely a man, has been thinking about it, dreaming about it, fantasizing about it for a very long time.
Though quite suspicious, the Idaho attack is believed that it is unrelated to any of the other crimes, and none of the crimes are related to each other. All 3 cases, the murder weapon wasn't found, and they have never named a suspect to date.
Meanwhile, police remain tight-lipped over why they can't share who called 911 around 8 hours after the murders, but telling us they have ruled out the man seen near 2 of the victims in this video as a suspect, as well as 2 other females who were inside the home but unhurt when the attacks happened.
Now that the 2 roommates have been ruled out conclusively, can you tell us if they were the ones that called 911?
So, still, we're not going to release that information yet.
That particular piece of information seems to be fueling a lot of conspiracies and making your jobs harder.
That is correct. There are a lot of conspiracies out there. There's a lot of conjecture. However, we have to work on the facts.
Facts are still a mystery. No murder weapon, no motive, not even a suspect description. devastating for the families of Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Maddie Mogan, and
Everyone has asked why the 911 call was placed as an unresponsive person.
Police now revealing that before a 911 call was made, the two surviving roommates of a deadly rampage that killed 4 students summoned friends to the off-campus home near the University of Idaho, telling authorities they thought someone on the second floor had, quote, passed out and was not waking up.
They woke up later in the morning. They recognized that something was amiss as far as they believed that the roommate wouldn't wake up.
Police say multiple people spoke with the 911 dispatcher before an officer arrived. Detectives do not believe they were involved.
Authorities say all 4 of them were stabbed with a knife, which has not been recovered, and at least one of the victims may have tried to fight off their attacker.
There were stab wounds on the hands of at least one of the students that make it appear that it would be defensive wounds.
Xana's father did reveal that she did have defensive wounds. We now have confirmation that Kaylee's wounds were worse than Maddie.
Still no named persons of interest. I want to bring back in Ashley Banfield. And Ashley, I've been looking forward to this because I want to talk to you about this new information that we confirmed just before the special today. The new information is that Kaylee Gonzalez's injuries were significantly more brutal. That is what I can say. Significantly more brutal than her best friend Maddie's injuries. What do you make of that new piece of information, Ashley?
Well, it's astounding, for one, because this is the first time, Brian, that you've been able to get the kind of information that helps us to perhaps try to figure out why this happened. Not saying this is definitive, but it certainly is one additional clue as to whether perhaps Kaylee might have been the target. But you got more information that makes it almost more complicated, and that is where the girls were found. So walk us through what you discovered today, because many of us didn't know which room when Kaylee's father said they were found in the same room and in the same bed.
Yeah, let me show you, Ashley. I want to take you up the hill here and get you oriented. This is the front of the house. There's now private security out front. And oh my, because it's going and it's very, very slippery. But we're going to walk you up to the back of the house. No windows on the side of the house. You've got the front door obviously on the front, which we know has the coded lock. On the back of the house, though, is where the bedrooms are. Confirmed that Kate injuries.
Brian, I think we just lost your mic, and I'm not sure. There, no, you're back. You're back. Can you just repeat what you said in the last 10 seconds? Your mic went dead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was explaining that we confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were more significantly brutal than Maddie's. We've also confirmed that they were on the 3rd floor. I'm going to have Mo show you. 3rd floor here, where not easy access. You've got the balcony. There's a slider. You can't easily jump up there. So what this has us wondering, Ashley, and I want you to kind of walk through this with me. If Kaylee's injuries were the most severe up on the 3rd floor, and there's no way out of the 3rd floor, would that mean the killer specifically targeted the 3rd floor? Because it doesn't make any sense. Why would the killer go up to a floor where there would not be an easy exit for him? What do you make of that, Ashley?
Well, it's significant in that we still don't know where the killings began. Did they begin on the 2nd floor where Xana Kernodle's room was? And of course, Ethan had been staying over that night. And we now know that that room was the room on the far side of the house. So not the side of the house that you're on right now, on the other side of the house at the front of the house. That's Xana and Ethan's. And then did they progress to the 3rd floor? And while your mic was cutting out, I think the key piece of information that the audience couldn't hear was which room upstairs on the 3rd floor the girls were actually found in. That before now, we only knew they were found together, but we didn't know in Maddie's room or in Kaylee's room. And so as we look at the 3rd floor map right there, bedroom number E, or bedroom E, is Maddie's bedroom, and it looks out the back of the house. And bedroom F is Kaylee's bedroom, and it looks out the front, but also the back where the slider is. So what did you discover about which room, Maddie's room on the left or Kaylee's room on the right?
That's right. We've confirmed that they were in Maddie's room, which is also interesting. That's something that we did not know. So Kaylee's injuries were significantly more brutal, but they were sleeping together in Maddie's room. So that helps put the puzzle together.
To me, that's very troubling because Kaylee was not supposed to be in Moscow, Idaho this particular weekend. She only went to go show her friends her new car that she was proud of. She was set to graduate in December and had a job lined up out of state in Texas. So she had just returned back home before Thanksgiving break. The person had to know that Kaylee was going to be there if she was the motivation behind the attack, because she had already gone back home. So, did they not know which room she slept in? How well did they know her? Or is this just coincidence? This is why I think that the restaurant may hold a clue, whether it's a patron, a friend that works nearby, someone in the restaurant, or perhaps another female student that's on her social media. We just really don't know.
She liked to have, she collected memories. She loved taking photos. She loved having a very social life. She loved being that person on social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I know that those profiles are public, and I beg people to look at those gracefully. But yeah, look at them, because they were real human beings, Kaylee and Maddie, and they posted real college girl things.
I strongly disagree. I am a mother, and this is a sore subject in my home. I really believe that children need to discern what they put on social media. All people need to be careful on what they put on social media, as well as their whereabouts. People put everything on social media, and it's just not safe. Many people will disagree, but this is a fact this day and age. You will post that you're going on vacation, and someone will come and rob your house. It's happened many times. It's a dangerous world out there. Everyone needs to be safe. Make no mistake, I am not blaming any of the victims in this case. We just learned officers went back to the scene, one with Washington license plates. Could that have any significance to connecting another murder or possible suspect?
Can you tell us why you're back inside? Can you tell us why we're back inside tonight? Can you tell us why you're back inside? Can you tell us why we're back inside tonight? Is there anything you can tell us?
I hope we're getting answers soon. I hope an arrest can be made shortly. Please, if you have any information regarding this homicide, please call in. Any tips or video to 208-883-7180. Also, if you have any information in the other two crimes mentioned in this video, please contact 503-823-4357. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so that you will know when Part 4 is available, bringing you the facts of this case.